Imagine you're standing in a closet or you're in the hallway, a real long hallway, and behind you is this loud speaker, high, mid, and low tone, just screaming in your ear. And imagine that as pain. What medical marijuana does is it's like it's taken you and moved you down the hallway into one of the side rooms. The noise is still there, the pain is still there, but it's so far in the background that you can then sleep again, and you can then be playful and less agitated and less angry. My name's Dan Gaita. I'm a U.S. Marine. I served from 1992 to 1996 in the United States Marine Corps. Participated in operations in Bosnia, Somalia, and Haiti. I got out of the Marine Corps in 1996, began aggressively going to college and working in the health and fitness industry. Unfortunately, the combination of my service-connected injuries made it almost impossible for me to sustain operations, sustain profitability, or even maintain gainful employment. I went on this journey for about 16 years with service-connected injuries in my head, my neck, my shoulder, my knees, and my low back, and had been living with chronic pain and began to undergo the VA's treatment for pain and pain management. And having been prescribed pain medications like hydrocodone for maybe close to a decade through the VA, along with the other medications that they were trying to use to treat symptoms of PTSD, I no longer was me. I was this zombie-like shell of myself. I denied for 20 years had any impact on me at all, to the point where my wife had said, maybe you should talk about these dreams, or the fact that you wake up in a pool of, sweat, or maybe you should talk about, your irritability and how easily you're agitated, or this hypervigilance characteristics that you have. And then I began to, 16 years after I got out of the Marine Corps, and you feel like you lose your soul when you are taking all those medications. One of our veterans had said, hey Dan, Connecticut just passed a law legalizing medical marijuana. And I said, great, where do I sign up? Where do I get it? Well, there's no dispensaries open yet. So I think it was like another year and a half from the time the law passed until the dispensaries were open. And I was able to finally get to the point where I was able to tell my doctors, I want to get off these pharmaceuticals, and the marijuana is helping me more. The implementation of Connecticut's medical marijuana program, I'm happy to report that I'm down to only 3 pills a day. I've cut out all SSRIs, SNRIs, SSNRIs, and all, I think they're called tricyclic antidepressants. I'm now only down to 3 pills a day and medical marijuana use from 5:30 p.m. till bedtime. It was like a piece of me was given back, and I was able to, with the guidance of my doctors, slowly get off of all the other medications they had me on. Opioids are interesting because they work for a little while, and then they don't work, and then you have to take a higher dose, and then they don't work, and you have to take a higher dose. In the meantime, you're getting hooked on heroin. So I tried to make sure that my dosages never went above the 5 milligram mark, and in order to do that, whenever the hydrocodone stopped working, I would stop taking it for a few days instead of asking for a higher dose, which meant every few months I was forcing myself through 3 or 4 days of withdrawal. With medical marijuana, that's no longer an issue. I don't use it to get stoned, because the products that I'm using now don't get you stoned. It doesn't just treat one symptom. I think that's the wonderful thing with medical marijuana, is that all the symptoms that I have associated with chronic pain and the association with post-traumatic stress and that whole myriad of symptoms that goes along with it are all effectively minimized and mitigated without me having to take any of the other medications. What are your symptoms? Try this strain, try this, and then what happened is every month I would go back, I would have a conversation with the pharmacist, describe my symptoms. I always kept good notes because we are the petri dish for this product. As a father of 3 kids, it was nerve-wracking for my wife, for me to come out publicly since it came legal. Because there's always that concern, well, it's federally illegal. Is somebody going to take our kids? There's a stigma attached to marijuana that's still there. It's still sticking. There's some people that don't get it. They still think it's this evil drug that's a gateway to greater drugs. I'm here to tell you, it helped me get off all the other drugs. It helped me eliminate the need for hydrocodone. It's gotten me off everything. It's wonderful. There's no post-marijuana hangover. There's no withdrawal symptoms when you wake up in the morning. I wake up refreshed because I got a good night's sleep. And oh, by the way, because I got a good night's sleep, I'm nicer to my wife, I'm nicer to my children, and oh, guess what? I can also start to exercise again regularly, so now I'm not 230 pounds, and now I don't have the combination of excess weight exacerbating the pain, you know, the injuries. And you have a greater mental attitude when you exercise. Everybody knows the health benefits of exercise. Medical marijuana has allowed me to start to exercise regularly again, which is counter to the whole, oh, you're getting stoned, you're gonna be lazy. It's all nonsense. I've been in the fitness industry for 20 years since I've been out of the Marine Corps, 19 actually. Since I've been out of the Marine Corps, I went right into the fitness industry as an assistant fitness instructor, fitness trainer, personal trainer, assistant manager, director, owner. All the roles I fulfilled, and in 2007 I opened up my own facility, which was a 3,000 square foot private 24/7 personal training studio. The economy tanked in 2008. My whole life savings, everything I invested into creating this business was turned upside down. I continued to work to pay off the equipment, so we owned it. We lost our home. And we took a beating. So my wife and I made a commitment that we weren't going to run away. We instead decided to flip this whole failure up on its head and turn it into a success. This is 2012 now, and we turned the entire facility into from a for-profit fitness facility into a IRS 501c3 and a Connecticut public charity. In July 2012, we were officially an IRS 501c3 combat veterans charity called Operation Vet Fit. We're now one of the nation's top recognized veterans charities through an organization called Great Nonprofits. It turned into a free gym, which then evolved into an advocacy agency that's helped World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans, veterans young and old, and active duty service members still serving. Medical marijuana has enabled me to sleep. By its enabling me to sleep, I can produce during the day and volunteer and help my veterans. Medical marijuana enables me to not just stop and talk to my kids, but to get down on the floor into the project with my children and actually experience a moment that's going to become a core memory for them. It affects your parenting for the better. I'm not drunk and I'm not zombied out on all these other medications. I'm actually able to get on the floor, crawl around with my kids for a period of time while the marijuana is in its greatest state of effect. They have their father back. Two of my daughters never even knew me. I was just medicated. Now they got their daddy back. Now we have fun. Now we play. Medical marijuana has made that happen. It hasn't made me a lazy person. I have a graduate degree. I'm going to get a second graduate degree. I run a charity. I'm a father of 3. I provide for my family. I'm not a lazy stoner. I'm not that stereotype.